Alright, so freaking check this trash out. Let's see, should be working now. Let me know how freaking the audio is, the video freaking. This is like crazy how we're shooting right now. We're in the middle of everything. But right now we're looking at the S&P 500. Crazy trash. So this is on the 4 hour. 4 hour charts. What we're looking at is we have this huge uptrend right here. You can see this trading channel. I had all these different lines that I was measuring, freaking trying to figure out how low this thing was gonna go, and we had this measured move right here. So um, you can see very quickly that you got this right here, very reminiscent of a freaking head and shoulders pattern. Just to break it down, let me kind of show you a little bit of what I'm looking at. So you got the first shoulder, head, second shoulder right there in the blue. So freaking, you look at that, you got the neckline area freaking right here. If I really want to highlight it, I can. You put this out, widen this up a little bit. But so this is crazy. You got the biggest financial market, the S&P 500, or if you don't know what the S&P 500 is, it's basically when people say, "Oh, the stock market's crashing" or this or that. I'm talking about the S&P. Sometimes they're talking about Dow Jones, but most of the time they're talking about the freaking S&P. And what we saw was freaking it came out of this channel right here. You're looking at this channel. It came out of the channel, broke down. Obviously, we had the measured move. Boom, hit it. Okay, so you measure from the top of the channel to the bottom of the channel. Boom, we hit it. What we didn't hit, which is still on the table right now, is the measured move for this giant head and shoulders, which is all the way. There's one. It depends on how you measure it. It depends on how you measure it. And different people. Technical analysis is more of a art than it is like an actual like hardcore science. So we hit this target, looked really good, but we still potentially have like a little. Let's see how much space this is. I can just measure it. We got about half a percentage that we're still looking at. Like, could we potentially go down? It looks like we have a really nice bounce right now, and we can measure this on the Fibonacci to be objective to see exactly like how much of a bounce we still need to do. So what we do is we measure this swing high right here, go down to this swing low. Because every time I talk to people about fibs, they're like, okay, that's great. The biggest problem I have with fibs is what people say is they don't know when to do swing lows and swing highs. Like they don't know exactly where to do it. That's where you would do it. And what we're looking at right now, if I overlay this, let's take this and delete that. Okay, put that like that. Freaking, so when I overlay this and I perfectly measured at the top, it looks like we're just about out of the freaking this is called the golden pocket area. I have it like souped up on my screen. So like freaking right here, this is the golden pocket, and what I'll do is freaking enhance this so you can see it even better. Turn up the background. So yeah, you got the freaking golden pocket right there, not the orange one, the gold one. And then you're seeing that it's going above it, and then we broke back down a little bit. I think that it's just a hot move right now. Markets really bounced today, really freaking bounced today. I mean, we were all the way down. People were thinking we were going lower, and we just had this massive bounce, and that's just like what we've been seeing right now with the financial markets, which is crazy to see bounces like that. So, anyways, we freaking hit that huge rejection, bounced back. Really, what I want to see right now, my biggest question is right now. I'm gonna highlight this a little bit. Freaking, I want to see, is this lower support channel right here, is Bitcoin, or not Bitcoin, this is the S&P right now. Is the S&P going to get rejected right here? Or are we going to keep going up? And basically, if we keep going up and we confirm into this channel, we're freaking good. So that's the S&P. Why do I talk about the S&P if we're talking about cryptocurrency? Well, it's pretty freaking simple. For most of Bitcoin's history, the S&P 500 has been extremely correlated with Bitcoin. That doesn't seem to be the case right now, but history has shown time and time again that even though every single correlation isn't 100%, it's a good idea to look at what the stock market's doing, because every time the stock market crashes, usually the real estate market crashes. Every time Bitcoin, every time the stock market crashes, usually Bitcoin goes. And you can line up the charts and see that every single time. So I just want to talk about the stock market really quick. That's just kind of something I'm a little concerned about. I want to show you guys what I'm looking at so that you know exactly what my ideas are on that. So, right now, today, it looks like the stock market's recovering huge, and that's just crazy. All that means is basically right now, it looks like there's a green light for crypto to keep going up. So I want you guys to know that. But freaking, we hit that trend line, the lower part of that trading channel, and we reject off of it. It could potentially head down. So definitely want to keep you guys updated on that. Next order of business, we got the freaking 4 hour. So I mean, you've seen probably this kind of trash. Broke out of this major trend line, super big deal, rallied up. You measure out this move, and it perfectly hit this measured move. Freaking right now, you just constantly see price explosions, and there's bullish divergence on some of the indicators, and we'll go over that. And that's a lot of the reason why you're seeing such an explosive price correction or price movement. And then freaking right now, what we're dealing with on the smaller time frames is there's a little bit of a price correction. So maybe, if you're newer into the space, you're kind of like, what's going on? Is this over? Maybe you have a little bit of fear or uncertainty. And so from everything that I see right now, freaking Bitcoin looks good. This does not look like freaking Bitcoin is in a bear market whatsoever. Now, to really confirm, and what I've been talking about on my trading group, to really confirm that Bitcoin's not in this freaking bear market and that crypto is going to crash or whatever, to confirm that, I want to see 65K, because that just perfectly continues this uptrend, which is basically what a bull market is, what Bitcoin, potentially going to 100,000. I've been saying on this channel forever, Bitcoin's going to 100,000. Well, now all the biggest experts in the space right now are agreeing with me. Bitcoin's probably going to be going to 100,000. And there's some bears. It is what it is. But freaking, what they're thinking is that that's the case. I'm not a bull or a bear right now. I want to see what's going on. And like I said, if we break 65K, there's not a doubt in my mind that we're going to six figures this year, which is really exciting. But in the meantime, right now, what we're looking at is we have this downtrend right here, and Bitcoin actually broke above it for a second, and we're just kind of fighting with that level. So freaking, when Bitcoin's price goes crazy parabolic, usually on the RSI, and we'll pull that up in a second, but usually on the RSI, it can't like constantly continue to go up, and so it'll start wicking down as Bitcoin starts losing momentum, and freaking the price will go up, but it'll start to lose momentum, and so we form something called RSI divergence, and it usually blows off these tops. And so then what we go in and we do is we do Fibonacci retracement. So I'm trying to figure out, here we are, Fibonacci. So you go swing high right here, and you go to swing low right here. And this looks like a great point to take it to. So potentially we could go down to like 52,000. I don't think that's going to happen. Just again, like with Bitcoin specifically, it's so important to look at the history. And historically, we see these bounces and we just continue to go up. And, that always happens in a bull market. There's a little bit of FUD and stuff earlier this year. I don't want to get into it. It's not really relevant right now. But freaking Bitcoin seems to be, if it's not in a bull market, it's acting like it's in a bull market right now. I'm not going to go into it because I see both sides. I think it's in a bull market, but I really like that confirmation. I don't like to just follow the freaking herd and get wrecked. It doesn't make sense that we're in a bear market right now. So freaking regardless, it's acting like it's in a bull market. So freaking you have this correction right here. I would be surprised if Bitcoin came down to 52,000, but this right here is the golden pocket. So potentially, if we do come down to this level, we'll shoot up most likely. If we don't, sometimes we get wicks. It's unlikely. But like, if you want to know like where's the market going, it's probably going to bounce around this level. I mean, we're already seeing a bounce. We're already seeing a break of this trend line. Really what you want to see at this point is let's zoom in a little bit. We call it in the industry, we call it confirmation close. So freaking, you have all these candlesticks. That's great. This candlestick, we're looking at it right here. If you can see right here, it closes in 2 hours and 30 minutes. So in 2 hours and 30 minutes, if this candlestick can close above this line right here, we can break out of this uptrend, and freaking that could be the end of this correction right here, and we could just bounce from there. And then start testing this local high right here, which I'm not too concerned with. Whether it goes up or whether it goes down in the short term, it looks like it's gonna bounce and continue higher. But freaking, let's go to the freaking weekly chart, because that's what I'm mostly looking at right now. So freaking weekly chart, this is where it gets interesting. It might look like a lot of mumbo freaking jumbo, because I got a lot of the stuff that I usually do on here. I just been charting it the frick up. But let's take a look at it. So you go paintbrush, freaking. This is what I see on the charts, and this is freaking huge. So what I see right there, bottom. What I see right here, bottom. So a lot of things to look at, but freaking, just to isolate your view, really focus on what I'm looking at. It looks like we have a ginormous double bottom on the weekly chart. I haven't heard anybody talk about this, but I've been doing technical analysis for a long time. And this definitely looks like a freaking, well, I know it's a double bottom. This is absolutely huge. I have no idea why people are not talking about this. So let's go a little bit more in depth on this, because this is absolutely freaking massive. This is on the weekly chart. So if you don't know how charting works, if you don't know how technical analysis works, freaking, the higher you go up in the time frame, the more important it is. Like, the minute chart is not going to be as important as the freaking daily chart. You tracking? So freaking, with that being said, the weekly chart is super freaking important in technical analysis. This is an absolutely massive chart. So freaking, when you have this what's called a double bottom, and I kind of just sketched it out a little rough, just to give you an idea of what we're looking at. So check out this white line. I made it really thick so you can see it. It's this line right here. Freaking, what's the level? It's right around 51,800. So that's the neckline. So what we're isolating, I'm going to draw it really quick so you can get a good understanding of what we're looking at. We're looking at this giant bottom right here. We're looking at this giant bottom right here. And then this is what called the neckline, this white area right here. So freaking, what we did is we broke the neckline. And so when we break the neckline, what we look at is we take out this trend line right here, and we drop it all the way to the bottom of this double bottom. We gotta switch over tools real quick. So we take that, we measure it from neckline all the way to the bottom. That's how you do a double bottom. That's called your measured move. And then you take that move that you just put, and you put it on the top of this neckline. So, I'm sure you got the lingo now. This is the neckline. We broke through the neckline. This is our measured move all the way up here. So potentially, what I'm looking at right now, and I'm sure this will come out eventually or something. I don't know why everybody's not talking about this right now. But we have a double bottom on the weekly chart. We got that all figured out. We are above the neckline right now, and when we break above the neckline, which we did, we expect to hit 74,000. It sounds crazy, but yeah, Bitcoin's absolutely doing insane right now. Maybe you thought it was doing good, and now looking at this freaking video, you're like, this is insane. So what I'm looking at is I want Bitcoin. So you can see right here, this 2 days and 23 hours. It's freaking right here on the left side. I got my mouse on it. So that's when the weekly chart closes. If the weekly chart can close above freaking, what do we say, 51,800 approximately, then that will confirm this double bottom scenario. And freaking, the only reason that this double bottom wouldn't play out is if Bitcoin was extremely bearish. Now the only thing that could really caused that, because I mean Bitcoin's been doing absolutely phenomenal, is freaking some bad news like the stock market crashing. So you know, it kind of wraps up the whole video that we went in the stock market in the beginning. We took a look at that, and you know, there's possibilities, but the stock market's recovering phenomenally. It doesn't look bad at all. So freaking, I'm very bullish on Bitcoin. Really, what I'm looking at right now is, let's see it break 65. You know, we're right next to 65, and then we have this ginormous uptrend. But that's what I'm looking at right now, is this giant double bottom on the weekly. You know what else is cool is freaking, we go over to indicators. So indicators, this is my favorite freaking indicator. On the weekly chart, this is Market Cipher, so this is one of the most powerful indicators um, that any trader has available. This is really good at timing bottoms. Freaking just printed a green dot on the weekly chart. That's absolutely huge, signaling potentially a bottom. Very strong potential. Daily chart also looking very strong. Freaking money's not coming in. Like, this is called the money momentum oscillator. This is really where you make your money right here. It's got an uptrend. It's looking decent, but it's nothing like a mountain like what you would want to see like right here. This is VWAP, custom VWAP indicator right here. Could be looking better. So freaking what we're looking at really is freaking Bitcoin went up. It's doing freaking good. It's just losing the momentum. So the price is still going up. Like in general, you know, like it hit 55, you know, just recently it was all the way down at like 45. So it gained $10,000 extremely quickly, and you can see that on the charts. Like it's really been popping off, but it's losing that insane momentum, and that's really what's causing this short-term. I wouldn't call it a crash, but just this short-term downside. I wouldn't be too concerned with it right now, because everything else, the technicals, the fundamentals, everything's looking really good on Bitcoin. People are really bullish on it. Freaking good news just came out. George Soros is freaking, you know, I don't know if that's good news or not, but freaking, he's holding a lot of Bitcoin, or something along those lines. So, anyways, that's gonna freaking wrap it up for today. That's the video. Freaking, subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. I'm gonna keep you updated on Bitcoin and the overall markets. I mean, if you want to stay for a second, I was looking at gold and silver. Freaking interesting for sure. Gold not looking good, so definitely interesting like proposition, like to potentially pick some up at some lower prices. When we did have the market crash, or I wouldn't say it was a market crash, but the stock market did correct earlier. It wasn't looking good for freaking every asset class except for gold. Gold and silver actually were doing pretty decent on that. But just looking at gold and silver, all my buddies, I have some buddies that are really into this trash, and let's see. So we're in this trading channel, freaking breaks up, breaks down, freaking respects these areas. It's just interesting to look at. But it's in a downtrend right now. It's kind of easy to see that it's in a downtrend right now. It's just interesting to look at, you know, just a different market. Because right now you got the stock market, and it's kind of shaky, but you're never going to see gains really out of the stock market like you will with crypto. And then freaking gold and silver. It's just another one of those asset classes. So we went over the stock market, we went over gold and silver. I mean, potentially finding a bottom here. I haven't seen anything yet. You know, it's in a downtrend. And really, I'm looking at like 17 right now. There's a measured move for. There's like some double tops, head and shoulders right now. I'm looking at 17. If you can get gold and silver for 17, that's insane. Because they trade it. I'm not going to go too much into it, but basically they trade it online, you know, with all these notes. So the actual physical demand for silver versus what it's actually trading for on spot, there's a gap. So freaking, it's just really interesting right now. A lot of people are saying that there's going to be a price explosion when you have the actual demand for silver. You have all these people that want silver, but the spot price is so low, so people want to buy it for this low spot price, but there's not actual the amount of silver that they're trying to buy. Like there's such a small amount of it available. Nobody wants to let it go for $22 an ounce, but they're saying it's $22 an ounce spot, and spot basically means, okay, well, how much is my silver worth today? So we're at 22 an ounce right now on spot price, but freaking there's none available. The reason it's saying that on spot is because a lot of notes are trading. So a lot of people don't actually take physical delivery of silver. They'll do all these contracts, and it manipulates the price of silver. So there's a lot more to it, but kind of interesting. But yeah, so that's our look at Bitcoin, which is what I'm primarily focused on. And then you got BTC, which is the ticker symbol for Bitcoin, and then you got D. So D is dominance. So freaking, this is Bitcoin dominance. I'm gonna take off Market Cipher B, and take a look at this. Market dominance is going up on Bitcoin, but this is what you want to look at if you're in cryptocurrency and you're looking at other things besides Bitcoin. Like, let's say you're like XRP, Cardano, freaking Ethereum. A lot of people know about Ethereum. How do you know if those are going to be doing good or bad? You look at Bitcoin dominance, and Bitcoin dominance is looking really freaking good right now. Like, Bitcoin's wanting to move up. We'll see what happens. A little bit of a wave right here, a little bit of a corrective wave. We'll see what happens, but freaking what ends up happening usually is two scenarios. You have one scenario where freaking Bitcoin, stays around 53,000, freaking condenses, everybody gets bored, and you have another scenario where Bitcoin just pops off and everybody's paying attention to Bitcoin. The boring scenario where Bitcoin just kind of does its thing for a little bit before it pops off again. That's where altcoins tend to thrive, and this index tends to shoot down. When freaking Bitcoin is, right now it's at, whatever, if it shoots up and just keeps shooting past 55, everybody gets excited. Usually this thing just shoots through the roof. But this is the metric that we use to freaking find Bitcoin dominance if you're new to the channel, to figure out, are my other coins besides, I have crypto, but it's not just Bitcoin, how are those coins doing, and how do I figure out if those are going to be doing well in the future? That's how you'd figure it out. So freaking I think that's gonna do it for tonight. I'm still working on the setup. It's freaking new. I have like all this stuff coming for it, like new mic, new everything. It's on the way. I just rigged this crap together real quick to shoot this video to give you an update. That really what I'm looking for. Huge. The main thing that I'm focusing on is this double bottom on the weekly chart. Can we freaking hit, can we stay above 51,800? We can stay above 51,800, then I'm freaking confident that Bitcoin's going to do well. But it's broken out of a lot of different trend lines, like just on the 4 hour. It's just so bullish. We just had this massive bullish market, and what ends up happening is you have this massive run up. People take profits. So, I mean, mostly it's long positions. It costs money to open trades. People take profits. Freaking stuff happens. This whole market ran off of fear and greed. But do I think Bitcoin's going to stay above 51,800? I do. I think that it's going to look really good. And yeah, our price target is freaking $74,000. So, we're so early. We're halfway through this cycle right now. People always ask me, should I buy, should I sell? Right now, I'm holding. If you go back on this channel, freaking, I was buying heavy around, I was already had positions at 14K when I started making YouTube videos. When I was on Snap, it was like 11K. That's when I was heavy buying. So right now, like what I'm doing personally, not financial advice, but what I'm doing that has been really good. Freaking every time I'm really good at calling the price action. If you go back and watch my videos and whatever, freaking what I'm doing right now is I'm holding, and I can't really recommend anything to anybody else, but that's the freaking facts on the chart. I'm expecting to sell some around 74,000 because everybody's thinking 100,000. That might be, it might make it to 80,000, and everybody's left holding bags that they don't want to hold, and then we go into this multi-year bear market. So I'm pretty confident at 74 to start taking some profits. And then what I do is I'd cost-based average out. So I've already made videos on it in the past, and I think maybe I'll make an update video because a lot of people have made update videos to theirs. But freaking I like to sell some at 74, maybe sell some at 80, and then cash the additional whatever that I'm willing to take out this cycle. And I always keep a little bit on the sidelines. But freaking cash the remaining amount that I'm trying to take out on the cycle. I'm gonna try and cash that out, you know, around 90, 100, and then just save like a little bit. Like if it goes past 100,000, I cash that out, and then you know my actual like stash that I can't get rid of, because it's an anti-inflationary asset. So you know sometimes it just freaking goes higher than people think. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the update. I know a lot of people freaking missed me. I was freaking gone. Had stuff to do. Didn't sell any of my Bitcoin. I freaking watched it tank. You know, and I actually saw the double top on it around 65,000. And I was actually sketching it on a piece of paper using a freaking ruler to figure it all out. It was crazy, but freaking and you know back when it was like 27, 28K, I was like, are we still in a bull market? It's hard to tell. And right now it looks like we're getting some clarity that this is, you know, like a 2013 situation where it's a double top situation where we had one top and it looks like we're about to head up and have a parabolic second top. But I'll keep you guys updated. So freaking, if you like the content, subscribe. We are freaking killer on this channel. So how do you end this? It says start recording. Exit maybe.